Hello, everybody.
Greetings.
Ed and Chris here once again. We are filming live. Well, this is recorded for you guys, but we are live and we are recording. We're here at the chef's table getting ready for this Thursday. We have a lot going on in the barrel room. Tyler and the boys are down there working very hard, long days.
Well, this is a record harvest.
Yeah. Double the output we had from last year. So a lot of grapes are being squished downstairs or beneath our feet here as we speak.
As we speak, the press has been going for about 10 hours now, and this is the red press. They did the whites last week.
Yeah.
Last year we had to harvest early because of the hurricane.
That's true.
So
yeah.
we probably would have had the same yield last year, but the hurricane kind of forced our hand on that. This year, of course, the conditions have been perfect for muscadine.
Yeah, I mean, when you speak of hurricanes, I know Louisiana doesn't really, Florida don't really like to talk about it too much, but we've been, knock on wood, we've been pretty lucky here with our hurricanes, and our crops have been saved, and we are blessed for that for sure. And so we expect an abundant yield of delicious muscadine wines, and then later in the season we'll be picking the vinifera.
Absolutely, and some cool stuff on tap from Tyler this year. He's doing a few different things with the muscadines. It'll be exciting to see some of the creativity. I know that we have been feeding him a little bit of local produce and berries and peppers, and it'll be interesting to see what comes of that with the.
Yeah, he has that chemist side to him. He's very into chemistry, so his creative side comes more from the chemistry side.
It does, absolutely.
And but that is an art too, I think.
It absolutely is an art. It's just well, and most art is grounded in really hard fundamental science. It's just it doesn't come across that way. You have to build that foundation. I don't think you can be creative without. I think you'd mess up too many things without a foundation.
Yeah, I agree. Just so you know, if I happen to cough or sneeze during this video, it's just to make sure that you know how authentic it is. No, actually, I'm just having some seasonal stuff. We finally got some relief from the humidity. It's been humid, I think, since January.
Oh, it's been awful.
And
well, spring was rather nice. The summer was overbearing.
We've had a lot of rain in the summer, and we had a lot of rain over the winter. So we in other words, it's a very wet place, and we finally got some dry air, and now my body's going nuts.
It's revolting.
Yes. So we are now officially into autumn, which we're all excited about, and that means, well, baseball is going to be in the playoffs soon. We're going this weird backwards season of hockey where the hockey's actually finishing up now, where it would normally be starting.
We would be seeing the preseason right now, but the good news
We got football.
We have two really bright spots about that. One, the Dallas Stars are playing for the Stanley Cup.
That's a mild miracle, and I'm very happy. Go
And
Stars.
the other is I'm in the finals of our fantasy baseball league, so miracles abound.
Big money on the line, folks. Big money.
So I know you're cheering for me there at home.
And Chef, I noticed the family meals have kind of reflected the change of weather. You're starting to get into more brave stuff.
Well, yes, absolutely, and this time of year calls for it, and it's just I think we touched on this a little bit last week, but Chef and I love this time of year. We love the braised meats and the heartier side dishes and everything. Just where we're eating as much for comfort as we are for nourishment, and that's always a wonderful thing that we get to use our deep, rich stocks and our wonderful hearty cheeses, and it's just a sea change across the board where we go from fresh to roasted, and we go from creamy to aged, and just really all around we just change our approach a little bit to cook with the seasons, and certainly wine's no different, but we love to cook with the seasons. We think it's right and well and appropriate, but just on a personal note, that's how we like to eat. So,
I'm rolling with you, Chef. This is
it's exciting.
It's time to overeat for 6 months.
Well, we have to get we're going to hibernate.
That's true.
So we need to make sure we have enough fat layer to survive the winter.
And so we're going to start off with an interesting vino. Here comes the bird.
Tweet, tweet.
Okay, so I'm silly. I'm sorry. So this is a beautiful grape from Sardinia. Sardinia, if you don't know, is a big island about 200 miles off the coast of Italy. It is considered Italian. It has changed hands quite a bit over the centuries, but they have been making wine there, well, since about 1500 before Christ. So they've been doing it a little bit.
Yeah, they got a little head start on,
Yeah,
on
I mean,
Sonoma.
yeah, Sonoma can't hang as far as terms.
My
of-
grandfather was staged there before he invaded Italy in World War II.
Oh, cool.
Sardinia was one of their
Beautiful
staging
place.
points. Yeah,
Beautiful, Mediterranean climate. They do depend on the cool coastal breezes to help temper these grapes so they're not overheated, particularly at night. That nice cooling, so it retains acidity. And Chef, well, cheers.
Cheers.
First and
Cheers, my
foremost.
friend.
Yep. Beautiful color here, lemony yellow, and I think that really kind of sets your mind to where it's headed, right? That nose, woo-wee. Lots
Boy,
of citrus.
Oh boy, what a
So
bundle that is.
Vermentino is really the what I would consider the grape of Sardinia, and nowhere in the world do I think that Vermentino really shines like it does in Sardinia. It is just this beautiful, intense citrus lemon, certainly lemon to the lemon side mostly, but there's some there. I would say there's probably a little kumquat tangerine kind of backbone to it.
Tangerine, yeah.
But it's lemon through and through, and the acidity is intense, and that's what I love about this. Oh, Chef Chris and I talk about when it comes to food pairing, there's no better friend than acidity. It helps your taste buds taste more. It cleans your palate off, so no proteins are building up on your tongue, and it really just there's when I think about this, I really think about like it's like literally like a lemon vinaigrette.
It's exactly what you had prepped me for the lemon. I
Yeah.
was just like, yeah, it'll have notes of lemon. No, huh, that's lemon.
But it's absolutely beautiful. It almost has
It's rich.
exactly. It has all this acidity, but to still have the richness to it. This is not like a Pinot Grigio plus. I mean, because we sometimes describe Pinot Grigio as that kind of lemony lime, but Pinot Grigio usually or almost always is going to come across lighter in texture. This is a bigger, heavier, and a richer flavor profile.
Yeah, Pinot Grigio can't do this.
Right. I would almost say, you know what this also reminds me of? Those preserved lemons.
Absolutely.
If you've ever done where you salt lemons and cure them, and that lemon seems to intensify.
It does intensify.
Because it draws the lemon oils out of the zest.
Well, and preserved lemon is so common in the Mediterranean. I mean, it's a big deal to, you have such, the crops aren't small, but they're not as varied in the Mediterranean. So, I mean, the crops they have are abundant. They just, it's not like California or Texas where you can grow everything in the world, and you probably could, they just simply don't plant it.
Right.
So lemons are, everybody, I mean, you have lemon trees, are like weeds there. So
Right.
you're always saving,
Yeah.
you don't want to waste it. So preserved lemon's a huge part of Mediterranean Italian cooking and Indian cooking as well. I mean,
Oh,
it's a
yeah,
big
absolutely.
part of their,
Absolutely.
or I'd say we should say Middle Eastern, I shouldn't have said that. But,
Sure.
yeah, I mean,
Argiola's a wonderful family-owned. Since the 1930s, they started, I think, around 36, 38, and their grandkids are still very heavily involved. It's definitely family-run, and they did something in the 80s where they pulled up all the vines they didn't really think reflected Sardinian grape varietals. Now, it's not to say that all these varietals came from the island of Sardinia, but they wanted to backtrack to more ancient connections to their grapes. So they kind of pulled up all the more modern grapes that don't really, it's not that they weren't good, it's just they wanted to reflect a real Sardinian style. They wanted to be more authentic to their deep past. And I respect that. I mean, it took a lot of guts.
huge respect
Yeah.
for that, and to have the,
I mean, you think
the
about
pride.
it. Yeah. And if you
Yeah.
think about it, Chef, if you're going down the aisle and 99 out of 100 people see Chardonnay and a Vermentino, side by side. 99 out of 100 are going to take the Chardonnay because they're familiar with it. So that takes guts to not have those household great names, and to pin your hopes and dreams of success
Yeah.
on a grape that a lot of people don't know about. So we've done vermentino before. I'm going to keep doing it as long as I continue to find these great quality producers, because I think it's important for us all as wine drinkers to really appreciate what these other varietals really bring to the palate. And boy, is this not delicious?
Well, all those suckers getting Chardonnay, I'm telling you, because this has a lot of the characteristics.
Oh yeah,
Of
if you're a Chardonnay
of a New
lover,
World Chard. I mean, this
Yeah.
is obviously, I don't know if it's stainless, but it's a lighter,
it is
but the body is not.
right,
It's only light because you're not getting oak. It's not light in mouthfeel.
right.
It is a very full-bodied wine. It's just that lemon, the balance that it comes through is just shy. I mean, it's wow.
Yeah, and this is a guy that's not the biggest white wine drinker, but when he finds what he likes, he
I appreciate them,
Yeah,
or whether
yeah.
I want to drink them or not, I can always appreciate it. This is a very fine wine. Delicious.
So what are you gonna throw with this in their pairings? the food
Well, we
pairings?
got a little extra special treat for you here. We've got some beautiful Oak Island sea scallops that we're going to put with this. We're going to do an aioli with fresh herbs and lemon. The lemon is not only going to accentuate this, but the herbaceousness in the aioli will help cut through it. So it's not lemon on lemon on lemon for the sake of lemon. It'll have a little balance. Of course, the fat from the aioli will help to temper that as well. But that scallop, that caramelized scallop.
This is gonna
lemon
be
on
so
it.
good. Yes. This.
Well, we may have to try it 6 times
Yeah.
before we drink it.
Absolutely.
But delicious. It's great wine as always, but that's really special.
Yeah. So we've been diving in some different areas, and Sardinia is a rich in history area. We should all be familiar with their wines, and that's really what we've been up to lately. And we're going to get back into Mexico next. We dove into Mexico earlier in the summer.
A couple of times.
Yeah,
Because
so-
you did that little trick wine.
Oh, that was the Brazilian.
Oh, that was
Brazilian. Yeah, that was a good one too.
Well, I love the story on that last Mexican wine that you did. That was outstanding.
Yeah, so we're going back, same producer, and I told you that I tasted through the portfolio and how much I liked every other wine a lot, and every other wine I didn't really care for, and that's fine. That's why I taste everything. And
That's the way of the road in tasting wine.
Yeah, I taste a lot of wines, and there's some plenty of clunkers out there. Don't get me wrong.
People don't realize how many dogs you have to taste to get to something that you get. You
Yeah.
put it in front of someone, and it's they're like, oh, this must be wonderful. They don't realize how many things that. Yeah, there's a lot of dogs out there.
And I do it for you folks. I do it for you. I sacrifice.
Your devotion has not gone unnoticed.
Thank you, Sean. So let's get a look at this label. And it's really, really pretty. This is a classic rosé color. It could be, it would look like it's from Provence. If you had a fancy French label on there, you'd think, oh, wow, that's exactly what I think it is. It's Grenache. But guess what, kiddos? This is Cab. So Cabernet Sauvignon. You don't see a lot of Cabernet Sauvignon rosés. It's a grape that demands so much more cash when you take it to its full length. You macerate it in the skins until all that good color is there and all those tannins, and you can sell Cab for much more than a rosé, generally speaking.
That's a great point, because you sure can. That's a huge investment to pull up your cab grapes to pull off a rosé with it.
Yeah, and that tells you, it tells me, I hope it tells you, that this winemaker is serious about making wine and not so serious about, marketing and following trends, and they're doing what they think is right for the grape, or what's right for their portfolio, or their expression of their art. And I like that.
Well, and it's to be admired, because really, how many rosés have you featured this year?
Oh, we've had quite a few, yeah.
I mean, it's people who take wine seriously. Excuse me, I was going to sneeze.
Oh, I talked him into sneezing. See, I thought it was going to be me. Are sneezes contagious? I know yawns are. if you yawn, I will yawn. That's kind of the way that goes.
Well, I'm not tired, but I sure am sniffly. We don't have a fever and we can still taste food, so we're set.
Oh yeah, and negative
Just
on that
season.
for anybody that's worried about it.
Yeah, we're all right.
We've been doing all the testing and temperature taking. This is certainly a seasonal, as every fall, it sounds.
What a horrible side effect of this pandemic that we
Now
can't,
everybody
can't have a cold.
Yeah, you can.
You can't have a cold.
Everybody thinks. that
And you know,
you're-
every year, usually twice a year, we get a cold. We get
Yeah.
a cold in the spring, get a cold in the fall. It's just the natural course of things. And now, you know, you get the sniffles.
Oh yeah, it's like everybody.
No doubt.
Stay away.
So, yeah.
Well, we talked about Cetto, Italian family. After World War I, they leave. They go to the Baja Peninsula in Mexico and start wine production. Their wines weren't very good. You know, much like every other place that starts off, you know, it's very rare that you'll have someone hit a home run in the first decade or so. It takes time. And so they made a lot of fortified wines. You know, fortifying wines can help disguise a lot of the faults.
And bulk it up. Wines are thin
Yeah.
the first decade.
Yeah,
or so.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
just the you know, it's nothing anyone's, the farmer's not doing anything wrong, the winemaker's not doing anything wrong. It's just the earth demands more of that. It's not going to give those grapes
Yeah.
what you're looking for that soon.
And then those roots have to get much
you
deeper.
get trained. You get
Yeah.
trained about this.
Yeah, exactly. And so this is a great example of the great winemaking of this family operation. You know, we've had, you know, this seems to be a theme today. We have these family boutique serious winemakers, and I think it's just I know it's a business, but it's also an art. I mean, this is something that resonates in our soul a little bit, and Chef and I, being, you know, who we are and how we love to create, and how we love when, just like when Marjorie brought in the you know, those beautiful eggplants and tomatoes and flowers. You know, our connection with the farm has always been there, and that's what these winemakers have. They have this connection. They're not just, you know, going through. It's not like an assembly line type of thing. There's a touch to it. There's a feel to it, a soul to the wine.
That's a great point. The soul is really correct, and you know, really approaching life and you know, to me, when there isn't a difference between what you do and who you are and what you love, I mean, I think that's when
That's
really
great.
start to see some magic happen, and you know, it's really to be admired that, you know, this isn't clearly they're not out. We all have to make money.
Yeah.
And you know, no one does anything with their life unless you're born with a trust fund. You know, you've got the bills.
Yeah.
But you also want to leave something. You want to leave a monument. You want to
Yeah.
leave something for people to build upon. But I just love when people look at their life as a body of work, not a series of tasks.
Sure.
You know, they're not saying, let's make a cab rosé and we'll make some money.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just part of a body of work that is their life. That's just one more thing that they do that means something to them, that fits in, that all the things fit into this beautiful body of work that's their life, not their business model. I love it.
Beautiful. Chef, we should have recorded that. Oh, wait, we
Oh,
did.
wait, yeah, we'll have to look at that.
We're going to have to get that dictated and printed up, because that was beautiful. That
Will
should be an
fit on a-
inspiration.
would it fit on a business card?
Probably not. But you don't give out business cards, Chef.
True enough.
You hide
Then
yours.
people will call me.
That's true. He
And
doesn't
being
like
an introvert, that doesn't work well. And then, you know, it's just not good for business. I have a bad memory.
And he speaks his mind. That's the dangerous
It's
thing.
bad for business.
There's no
So,
filter.
I let the pros handle that.
Mm.
You know, it was funny, somebody was asking me something a couple weeks ago about, I put some of my silly pictures up there on my social media of the chef's table, and they were like, oh, it must be wonderful to be able to do this and do that. You know, and of course, I should have said thank you. But I didn't.
You did,
So I lectured him. Yeah, because I can't take a compliment. But
Yeah, that's true.
But I also said something fairly profound, and I said it before I thought about it, but it was true after the fact. I said that, well, you know, that dish took 35 years to make. And it took me 30 years of cooking before I understood I didn't know anything. I didn't start to even grasp the basics of food until a few years ago. We started doing chef's tables. It took me those 3 decades to realize, you know, how little I knew and how to change my approach and to get, you know, because I never really thought about what I'd accumulated. I just, you know, forward, forward, moving forward.
Right.
And you know, I'll be forever grateful for our chef's table experience for that. It's allowed me to go
It's been a
reflect,
wonderful run.
because, you know, it's not cooking for the sake of cooking. I think it is something deeper when you work with the community, our collaboration with the farmers, with our creameries, with our fishermen, and how to bring these together. You know, certainly that's always occurred to us as chefs, but never on this level.
I totally agree with
Yeah,
you. And this was certainly something that I don't think we were out to set out. We never set out to do something like this. It just happened, and you know, then we were like, well, we've got this. You know, Ben built this beautiful chef's table.
It's gorgeous.
And we need to utilize it some more, so we started doing these tastings on Thursday, it was Thursdays, right? We started on Thursday. We've always been Thursday.
We need to get him to build us another one for the.
I got to tell you though, for anyone out there watching that comes here regularly, I know Mr. Tom Webb says, you know, we should get microphones, which I need to do, but I don't want to lose the intimacy either. So I'm thinking about, or Chris and I have been talking about doing this 2 nights a week.
Yeah, I'm bringing in Friday nights.
Yeah, and sacrificing the chef's table that night. That's the tough pill to swallow there. But we think maybe Friday nights we get some different folks in.
Agreed. And you know, you think about it. You know, I don't think it would hurt that much. I mean, we could still do our pairings. You know, Friday night you're more likely to stay for dinner or do this and that. But I mean, the interest doesn't lie.
Yeah, I mean
Thursday nights are
Thursday.
wowzers.
We're doing a lot more than we ever thought we would.
Dreamed up to me. Dreamed up. I always thought 15 would be like.
And it's 30. It's now 30 is the average.
Yeah, it's the average. And it is becoming more challenging. And I think that's a great testament to what you built on Thursday nights, that everybody wants your attention. But you know, now you're a victim of your own success.
That's true.
How are you gonna give them that?
It's hard to spend, 5 minutes with.
Well, and doing 30 on Thursday and then 30 again on Friday. I mean, I saw that.
Well, that's a good point, Chef.
So, well, you need a good protege. I'm not talking about here, but
So in
the
like a sous chef.
you need a sous chef up here.
Yeah.
Pouring wines, clearing plates, so you can do the cerebral stuff.
Well, I got to tell you that.
And you've got great
Yeah,
people, but,
we do.
But it's every week it's someone different, and it's
That's
kind of like, hey, would you know, you need someone who's like your person, so you can really focus on it. They need to be over 4 feet tall.
Does anybody out there, are they good with robotics? We can make a little robot. Maybe.
I don't trust AI. You know, you program them to protect the humans, and the first thing they do is kill them.
That's true. Yeah, all those movies end up badly.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I
of
just,
all the terrific ways I want to die, being ripped apart by a robot version of you is not it.
right.
I'd rather you choke the life out of me. I don't want it to be like, a version of you.
Right. After the Stars lose the Stanley Cup.
There'd be no reason to live after that.
Well, I know we drift away. I'm sorry, but we like to chat while we're here. So, because we don't ever chat, we're busy working. So, Chef, this rosé, wouldn't you say it's very comparable in weight, texture? texture, acidity as a Provence.
Oh, I think you would call it Provence on wine
Yeah.
tasting 8 out of 10 times.
Yeah, but it doesn't have that little tinge of bitter that you'd expect from Provence.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, so that
No,
would be
it
the
doesn't.
only clue for me that would say, you know what, this isn't. But
Yeah, my untrained palate would have picked up on that, because you're right, yeah, the bitter is always
yeah,
primitive,
but
is always
that's
present, present
why
rather.
people actually like it. They might not admit to it or realize that because it goes so good with food that little bit.
This is also warmer than we would normally taste it, so I don't know if it was a little colder, it may have a tinge of bitter, but I don't remember, because mine never let my rosé warm up.
Yeah, it doesn't have time because
So I don't know if the Provence rosés remain as bitter at room temperature.
yeah.
Maybe they do. You would be better suited to answer that with great rosé.
Isn't that nice?
Great rosé.
I know Mrs. Wisher likes roses.
Miss Sharp may enjoy a bottle or six.
But
of
she
these.
only likes some of their really pretty bottles, and I think this is a pretty bottle.
It is a pretty bottle, and like, you could take $100 bottle of juice and pour it into a jug, and she'll spit it out.
Yeah.
But you could pour some rock gut in a pretty bottle. And, oh, this is the greatest
Yeah.
thing.
Marketing 101.
They know what they're doing.
Hey, before we drift even further off subject,
Oh, we want to eat with this, don't we?
what is gonna be in their box?
Well, we got some glorious North Carolina slow roasted pork belly. And you're gonna have a great little crispy piece of, because we love pork belly and rosé, don't we?
We do.
We do.
It's probably our, and if there's one consistent in our pairings, anytime, I would say almost without
It
exception.
might be 100%.
Yeah, it might be 100%. We throw a rosé at pork belly.
So we're gonna have the home run North Carolina slow roasted, and this is a low temp pork belly, just salt and pepper on the rub, really glorious when you get a crispy skin. We're gonna top it with the return of the Dirty Girl blended goat cow's milk cheese from Prodigal Farm. We've been waiting all year for its release, and it's here. So I know we get excited every time they put out a cheese every year. The Hunkadora and the Bearded Lady and all
Boy,
these
that
things.
Hunkadora,
Yeah,
man.
something else. But now is the time for the blended Dirty Girl. They have two. They have one that's 100% goat's milk, and they have one that's a blend. It's 50-50 cow and goat, which I actually prefer. This has 6 months age on it. Beautiful, beautiful cheese. It's going to complement the pork belly great. I highly recommend eating them separate. When you're first starting, when you're first sipping, have a little pork belly in your rosé, have a little Dirty Girl in your rosé. Don't blend them till later.
Yeah, that's a good. You really want to see how that develops and how
Absolutely.
Chef and I collaborate and decide what wines and what food go together.
And from the reason is, and certainly, we all like to eventually blend our food when you get down to smaller ports, it makes sense. But
Mhm.
starting out, you really do want to have those one-on-one interactions with
Yeah.
your wine and your food.
You want to see what the ingredient is alone? Absolutely, you need to, and that's important. So, kind of surprised you probably a little bit with a white and a rosé, but these are still viable throughout the fall into early winter. These are wines that are so food friendly that we can't get away from them. And so, don't expect a big heavy red
Absolutely.
for the next 6 months, or 2 big heavy reds.
I know there's rosé on our Thanksgiving table.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
And really, I think too, learning to, I know it's more difficult at home, but we always have multiple wines
Yeah.
when we eat or
Yeah.
at night. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
there's 3 or 4.
it's nothing to have a vermentino when you're first gathering, maybe a couple of snack, and then there's a progression. I know most people like, oh, it was Saturday night, we're not on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
still, you don't have to finish the whole bottle like we do, but you can certainly have 2 or 3 bottles open that will last 3 to 4 days at least in the fridge. You don't have to have
Yeah.
your bottle at night. You can have a glass of this, a glass of that. There's no
And
reason you
then-
can't
and-
finish with a
and
Syrah.
and then
Yeah.
go to your bottle, like
You
Chef
bet.
said, yeah, or to your cocktail or your IPA or whatever.
Whatever it may be.
Yeah.
It's a super cold night, you may want to finish with a nice bourbon with just some drop of ice. But seasonally, especially with your foods, you can have all these wines all the time. It's just not it's not a question of, well, this is our wine for tonight. Well, have a little bit of this, a little bit of that. put it in the fridge and save it for tomorrow and then move on to your next progression.
Absolutely. Yep, we are in abundant time, folks. Take advantage of it.
The golden age.
There's gonna be, there may be a time where you're like, man, I wish I'd been trying all those different things every freaking day of my life.
I could have had three
When I had the
different
chance.
wines last night.
Yeah.
But instead, I just had one
Yeah.
over and over and over again.
Yep. Life is short. Enjoy it, folks. Thanks for joining us every single week. We sure do appreciate it. You know,
Sure
all
do.
your support.
We sure do.
We need it. We love it. We appreciate it. Thanks for your support with all the family meals. If you want to, give us a call. We can book anything for you as far as reservations or for pickup food or for chef's tables or for wine by the cases.
And delivery. We'll deliver it to you for free as well. So
That's right. We're delivering in roughly 5-mile range.
right around in
give
there,
or take.
Give or take.
But I know it's important to our customers, and so we made it important to us, and we are very excited to offer delivery in the vicinity and perhaps beyond as it grows.
As it grows, and certainly we make exceptions here and there as well now, but as a policy, that's where we're staying. But yeah, I mean, keep us in mind. Anything, you know, we'll come. Ed and I will come to your house and do a dinner party.
We do that.
Well, we do it a lot, and we'll do things here, whether it's as simple as a lunch reservation or as elegant as a chef's table. We've got you covered.
Yep. Thank you so much for everything, folks, and we will see you next week.
Thanks again for spending your evening with us. Have a great night.